Hello, and welcome to episode 16 of Mish Mayhem.
Mish Mayhem.
The podcast where we take the schoolyard conversation of, hey, which one of these characters is winning a fight, and we talk about it on a podcast.
That's what this is.
Oh, that's good. I was expecting this to be a light entertainment podcast, so...
It is, unless you...
start talking about the dark and serious undertones of the world, and...
Yes.
Knife crime.
A knife crime.
Knife crime's not a laughing matter.
I mean, it is when it's brought up in this context. but you're right. It's not really a laughing matter. Do you know anyone who's a victim of knife crime?
I mean, I've been held up at knife point. Does that count?
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
That's technically knife crime. I wasn't stabbed, but it wasn't exactly a nice experience.
Yeah, that absolutely counts. One of my colleagues at work did get stabbed in the neck because someone. This is like ages ago, but apparently someone came up to him with a knife and he was like, "You don't have the guts to use that." And before he managed to finish that sentence, he got stabbed in the neck. So they proved him wrong.
Yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, nobody deserves it, but it sounds like he kind of deserves it.
Oh well, silly man. Anyway, as discussed, this is episode 16, Mish Mayhem. That's a 1 and then a 6, but not a 7.
That'd be next time.
What do we do on this show? You ask. I hear you ask. If you're new to the show, you might ask that. If you're not new to the show, you already know. But I'm going to tell you anyway. We're going to talk about some people, some characters, some fictional people characters. They might not be people. We're going to talk about them, introduce them. There's one of them, which canonically we decided as of, I don't know, probably episode 1, and it's just been a running thing, that they are defending ourselves from bullies. We are in an ever going on war of bully killing, which is not the way to get rid of bullying, by the way. Just throwing it out there.
Tell a responsible teacher or adult.
Yes. If you're getting bullied, don't hire a fictional character to kill the bully's fictional character defense. Just don't do it. It's not good. We're going to pitch 2 of them against each other, and they're going to take fight in a place. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the characters, starting off with the reigning champion. He's got his Mish, he's got his Mash as of last week, Wreck-It Ralph. And then we're going to introduce the new contender. And we're going to go through a little bit about them, their skills, their expertise, their armor, their weapons, what TV channel they watch, whether they like, what's that famous radio show? Oh, bollocks.
The Archers.
Yeah, whether they like the Archers, what their favourite Nintendo game is, and other things as well. And then we're going to roll the icosahedral Die of Death.
The Die of Death.
Die of Death, to work out where they're going to fight this day. And we shall decide. And it will probably be warm there because it's a warm day today. It's a very warm day.
It is hot. I am sweating it out.
I'm also sweating. My trouser legs are rolled up above my knees and I look really cool. Apart from the fact I look really hot because I'm really warm and sexy. But anyway, without further ado, it's down to you.
Bringing back from the last few episodes, Wreck-It Ralph, somebody who I thought would be funny to introduce into the show, and that's actually ended up doing surprisingly well. So let's deal with the important issues first. I don't think he'd like the Archers.
Okay.
I reckon he'd think it's boring. Although he's a man of, like, he comes from a very old game, he tends to like very sort of big, exciting, colourful things. I get the feeling that something like just that's purely audio wouldn't appeal to him. And what was your one favourite Nintendo game?
Yeah, although we've never actually answered these things that I've said that we're going to talk about before, ever.
I've done a couple of them sometimes, occasionally,
okay.
if I've remembered. But I've usually done them at the end. I'm doing them at the beginning this time, so I do remember. Oh man, I don't know. Favorite Nintendo game? Because my immediate thought was Mario Kart, because he'd be like, because obviously Sugar Rush is based on that.
Yeah.
But actually, it won't be, because he'd be like, man, this is just a less good Sugar Rush, because obviously.
There is a demolition game, isn't there, for the Nintendo? It's like Demolition Derby or some kind of demolition game.
Yeah, he'd like Blast Corps. He'd be really good at it.
Yes, that's probably what it is. Yeah, Blast Corps, yeah.
The one for the N64.
Yeah.
Which I played because it was on Rare Replay.
Did you? Ah.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah.
For remembering the name.
That'd be fun. He'd just be going around smashing stuff and blowing up. That would fit into his skill set.
It would.
Okay. Or possibly just Super Mario, because it's just everyone loves it. 'Cause it's great.
Who doesn't? Name one person who doesn't like it.
Actually, to be fair, my wife doesn't really like Super Mario.
What?
I know I've tried. I got to play Donkey Kong. She said that was better.
Well, fair enough. People like things.
Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you about Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph, he's a big wrecking machine. He's got giant hands and feet to emphasize his sort of pixel origins. But it also means that he's really big and strong. But he's got giant wrecking hands that he can use to smash things. Wreck-It Ralph has super strength. Again, helps with the wrecking. He has the ability to wreck anything he punches, which is mightily handy when your job is to wreck stuff. Yeah, his job is to wreck the Nicelanders skyscraper in the game, Fix It Felix Jr., whilst Fix It Felix Jr. himself fixes it. It's a ongoing conundrum. But as you would imagine from somebody who breaks the place where people called the Nicelanders live, he is considered a bad guy. You know, that's kind of his deal. He's the bad guy of the Fix It Felix Jr. game. But then the film, Wreck-It Ralph, flips that on its head by having the Nicelanders be a bit jerkish.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not that nice to Ralph at all. And Ralph's like a nice, good guy. He's just all sad because he doesn't have friends. So he goes on an epic journey to prove himself that he can be a good guy too. Because he is a good guy, despite being a bad guy.
Just because you're bad guy does not mean you're bad guy.
Exactly. I have so much time for that film. It's great.
And you only need 1 hour and 39 minutes or something.
Probably something around that, yeah. So that's kind of Ralph's deal. Like I say, he's got super strength, which is a pretty standard hero ability. And then he's also got super endurance. It's very hard to hurt Wreck-It Ralph. You know, loads of things happen to him. He gets hurt all the time. Oh yeah, that's not. I think it's easy to hurt Wreck-It Ralph. It's very hard to damage Wreck-It Ralph. I think those are the difference. Because he gets hurt a lot by things in the way that he's from a kid's film. So there's lots of slapstick violence. Because of course there is. But then some things that happen to him are absolutely ridiculous. Like at the end of the film, where he gets carried up into the sky and dropped into a volcano. And it's just mad, isn't it? I mean, that would kill.
I mean, it's not a real volcano.
Well, okay. It's a Diet Coke and Mentos volcano. But he still gets dropped into it from a very high up height. And then he smashes through the top as well. It's not even like it's an open thing. So I'm just saying, like that would kill a lesser man. Yeah, that's it. He's made of hard stuff. Well, I mean, he's made of pixels, but he's given a high endurance stat in the programming. There's also the thing, it's worth mentioning, that following Wreck-It Ralph lore, if they die inside their own game, they instantly respawn. So if we have a fight inside Fix It Felix Jr., Ralph will win because it'll keep respawning until he beats the other person.
I mean, surely in that scenario you could get a tie if, they just couldn't ever fathomably beat the other person.
I suppose so. If Ralph just couldn't win, and they'd just go on till the end of time.
And who wins in that scenario? The arcade place.
Who would win in that scenario? Probably the listener, because they'd get to listen to us ramble on forever.
It's a long time. Forever is a long
time. Some would say the longest time. So, as a character, as we've kind of said, Wreck-It Ralph is predominantly a good guy despite being a bad guy. He sort of very much wants the people he cares about to have what's good for them, and ultimately he just wants himself to be accepted and to find friends and stuff, which is a perfectly reasonable thing I think most people can relate to. But he does have quite sort of emphasized flaws. He can be quite selfish, and he's got a massive temper on him, and he gets very jealous very quickly. And sort of when these things happen, he tends to be more destructive than usual because he kind of gets himself sad, and then that makes him angry. And it's a very sort of downward spiral. And the fact that he's quite destructive in a good mood, when he's in a bad mood, he gets very destructive, and it's awful. I assume as the fight goes on, he'll get angrier, and then he'll get more over the top smashy. Which is pretty much how he won last episode.
I mean, yeah, it helped him as in the jungle.
It did help him when he was in the jungle.
Jungle fever!
Yeah, but I mean, essentially, that's kind of Wreck-It Ralph's deal. He's big, he's strong, he smashes stuff.
He's big, he's strong, he smashes stuff. He is friends with a princess. She's a glitch and she rides in a car. Ralph. I should have said Wreck-It Ralph.
That was a good song, though. I enjoyed it.
It wasn't bad, was it?
It was basically to the tune of Nelly the Elephant.
Yeah, it was. What can I say? It's one of my favourite songs.
That's fair.
Oh, it's not.
No. I was going to say it's not very metal for you.
Oh my god! I mean, now I want to look up a metal version of Nelly Elephant, but equally, I feel it would probably be just a very heavy version of Nelly Elephant, and probably wouldn't be as good as I want it to be.
So, who is Ralph against today? Who's your new person? Can you remember your clue?
Yes, I can, because it was only
yesterday. We were doing a big recording weekend, so it was only recorded yesterday. Although it would be several weeks apart for real life.
Suckers. Yeah, so this character, his name translates literally as Dragon Peregrine Falcon, and he owns an antique shop.
I love how, although both of those clues are correct, they're just so, like, they seem very weird together.
They do. They're so
dear.
Like, discordant with each other. It's like you'd expect him to be called, like, I don't know, Captain Spectacles or Boring Muck Dust Face or something, if he owns an antique shop. Or if he's called Dragon Peregrine Falcon, you'd expect him to be, like, a wizard or a dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Not that dragon is a...
job.
It's an occupation. Yeah. I mean, is it actually? It kind of earns you money, being a dragon.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of dragons do tend to collect gold. I suppose being a...
Do dragons have jobs?
No, I was going to say, actually, not a job you should aspire to have necessarily, but isn't the leader of the Ku Klux Klan referred to as the Grand Dragon?
I don't know. I mean, I very seldom look up stuff to do with the Ku Klux Klan because I just don't. Who does?
I mean, that's fair. I had to for history, I want to say.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
It would either be that or RE.
No, it wasn't RE. It was definitely later than that. But I remember thinking that all of their, like, the roles within the Ku Klux Klan, like the ranks and stuff, all sound like they've come from D&D.
Maybe that's how they got people in.
Maybe. But yeah, I'm sure, like...
They're like, hey, do you want a cool title?
I'm sure one of the titles is Grand Dragon.
Anyway, for those of you who don't know who this is, it's a character from a line of video games called Ninja Gaiden. It's Hayabusa Ryu, or Ryu Hayabusa, depending on whether you're reading it in Japanese or English, because Japanese people say the surname first and then they say the first name. So he is Ryu or Ryu. I don't know which one I'm going to use. I'm probably going to chop and change between them just to annoy literally everyone.
For the same reason you're appeasing everyone, because you're agreeing with both pronunciations.
That's very true. Yes. It's like, aha, I'm annoying you half the time and making you feel good half the time. Sounds accurate. It's Ryu Hayabusa. He's a ninja from Ninja Gaiden. Came out before I was born, or you were born.
Did it? Yeah, no, the first one did.
Yeah, it came out in 1988.
And,
apparently,
let's be honest, probably his favourite Nintendo game.
Yeah, it probably is, because it's all about him.
That was him. So
yeah, this guy is the son of a renowned ninja called Joe.
Yeah.
Of course he is. This series is amazing. And he is the wielder of the legendary dragon sword. We'll get to that later. The dragon sword's ridiculous. Although he appears as a normal human, he's actually a demon-human hybrid whose ancestors drew their blood from the same evil deities, such as the Holy Vigor Emperor, don't know what that is, and some other things. That's his, like, very brief background. He's also appeared in other series. He's been in Dead or Alive. Indeed, in the Dead or Alive series, he actually wins the entire tournament of the second championship.
He does. He's the canonical winner of DOA too.
He is, yeah. He plays some lesser roles in the other ones, but, you know, he's there in the Dead or Alive games. And he also features in some other games, such as Super Swing Golf Season 2.
Amazing. Ninja Golf.
Ninja Golf, yeah. But anyway, as a ninja, you can imagine that, I mean, if I haven't said that he is a ninja, he is a ninja. As you can imagine, he is a very adept and agile in all these things. Indeed, he is so adept in all that. He is part of the Hayabusa clan ninja. They're a very famous line of ninja. And being part of them and having trained for very long, he gets access to all sorts of extreme abilities and attributes. I couldn't possibly read them all. I mean, I could, but you'd have to read half them out. So I'm just going to list off some key ones and read out some key quotes that give you an idea of how good these are. What do you associate with ninjas in terms of
swords?
Okay, in terms of like their physical abilities.
They can do like loads of flips and stuff.
Agility. Yeah. That's
Naruto
right.
running.
Agility. Naruto running.
Area 51.
So Ryu is able to move at lightning fast speeds. And by lightning fast speeds, I don't mean like, I'm not using that as a synonym. I'm using that as a description for how fast
So he can
move
at the speed of lightning.
Essentially, almost yes. Some examples: he is able to block bullets from multiple automatic assault rifles shooting at him from all directions with his sword, because his reflexes are that high. He's able to dodge and outrun surface-to-air missiles.
What?
Which go at Mach 3.6. That's 3.6 times the speed of sound. And he's able to dodge and react to ranged lightning attacks. And lightning is the speed of lightning, which implies that he's faster than the speed of lightning.
Doesn't lightning go at the speed of light?
Well, I mean, the whole process of lightning doesn't, but the instantaneous, well, this when the lightning actually strikes, yes, essentially. But it's okay because, if you fought lightning.
No, wait.
Yeah, if you can what?
If he can dodge lightning by going faster than the speed of lightning, does that mean he can go up like warp speed?
I mean, possibly. I mean, it says here he's incapable of reacting to quantum interactions that appear at the speed of light.
Well, I mean, that's okay.
It's pretty fast. He's faster than your average ninja. He's faster than 97.2% of ninjas, and probably more than that.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do you associate with ninjas?
Shuriken.
Okay, I mean, I'm still on about physical things. In fact, you mentioned like jumping and doing flips and shit.
Yeah.
So that, like acrobatics, that's associated.
Yeah.
He's quite good at doing that. He's able to land. You know how ninjas will like, drop down from buildings and like land in a kind of superhero thing, and they'll be like fine. He can do that from from heights exceeding 1,000 foot. That's 300 meters. Strength. I was thinking of the other one. Strength. He's pretty strong. In fact, I say pretty strong. It's quoted here as immense superhuman strength, which is more than quite strong. He's able to lift huge weapons with ease, which we might get to through some of the weapons that he has. And indeed, using his weapons, he can cut through tank steel and jets in half.
Right, so you can cut a tank in half with a sword.
Yeah. What the hell? It's so ridiculous. It also says for short movements, he's able to move. I don't know what this is. I assume it's some kind of weapon, but it's a weapon that weighs 100 pounds, and he's able to move it fast enough to block bullets.
Okay.
Pretty ridiculous. It's pretty strong. He's got very good senses. He's got very good stamina. For example, he's able to physically exert himself for extremely extended periods of time. He's virtually never shown a sign of fatigue against an enemy. Indeed, he can be dipped in lava and walk for a long time without tiring.
Those two things are quite different.
Yes, but they are in the same sentence.
Or maybe, do you mean like it's not he can be dipped in lava, or it's he can be dipped in lava and then walk for a long time with like a little?
I don't think it implies he can walk through lava for a long time. I believe it implies yes, like a fondue, like a lava fondue, a Ryu lava fondue.
Yeah, he's got little lava shoes. And he's going for a walk, and he's all right.
Yeah. All right, sweet. But if being dipped in lava wasn't enough, he has regeneration. He's able to regenerate from otherwise fatal wounds, such as a slice through the jugular. That's where you always stab through the heart. But he does. This endurance is increased further with the life of the gods. I'm not going to even read what that is because it's probably ridiculous. Although it does say once his spiritual health is depleted, he would be unable to heal from wounds.
I've not played the Ninja Gaiden games, but all I really know about them is that they're ludicrously difficult. Like, you have to be so good at them to actually be any good at them, because they're really hard. And when you're reading me about how good this character is, I don't understand how they can be difficult games.
But the problem is, everything's relative, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, in the Ninja Gaiden universe, everyone is very similar to this.
Right.
It's like how in, Dragon Ball Z, everyone starts off and they're like throwing tiny fireballs at each other or something. I don't know, I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. And then, by the end of it, their power levels are all over 9,000.
Yeah.
Probably more than that. Probably like into the millions. So they're all like that. So, it's relative.
I don't know if they are all like that in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, again, I've only ever seen a couple of episodes, but I very much get the impression it's like if your name begins with Go, one of the Go people, Or if you're Vegeta or Frieza or Cell, then you're ludicrously powerful. And everyone else is kind of, I mean, they're like more powerful than a human, but they're not.
Oh, well, you've watched Naruto.
Yeah.
Or read Naruto. Most of it.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine if a human one of us was to go into the Naruto universe and try and fight even someone like Zabuza. We'd die almost instantly.
Well, yeah, I mean, Zabuza's cool.
But, yeah, exactly. We'd die. He's so cool. My God, he's so cool. Oh, I'm dying.
No, I mean, if you want a good example of that, of like where everyone's just absolutely mentally powerful, I've just started watching One Punch Man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I know that's the point. I know it's supposed to be kind of taking the mick of other animes where everything is ludicrously like that.
Anyway, yeah, the point is that the games are probably that hard because everyone in that universe is on a similar level.
Fair enough.
Anyway, my point was that here's an extreme, the full extent of his, like, regeneration is unknown, but in the most extreme case documented here, he's managed to hold his body back together and come back to life after being dismembered from shoulder to hip. All right, so that's enough about his stupid abilities, even though I've missed out like 7 of them because it's just not worth going through. He's got a load of techniques he can use. I'm not going to read them all out. I'm not going to go into a lot of them because apart from a couple of them, but some of them are named such as guillotine throw or thunderclap kick, which sounds really cool.
Yeah.
He's able to double jump, classic video game ability.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to one up rules, one across water. He's got something called violent wind. Now let's go on to his weapons. I'm not going to go through most of his weapons because most of them are classic ninja weapons, but his trademark weapon, his signature weapon is the dragon sword. Said to be created from the fang of dragon deities long extinct, containing their souls and their strength. This sword is able to reveal their true powers and strength when combined with the eye of the dragon, which they never really combine unless they need to, because if they combine, it will almost certainly rip the universe apart.
Blimey.
Yeah, I mean, it's just dumb, isn't it?
That sounds like a good plot reason to stop you having your best powers all the time.
Exactly. He barely ever does it. But it is said that the dragon sword can slice through anything, which does explain why it can slice through tanks and jets and other things. Like, I don't know, for example, a pigeon. A pigeon isn't a very strong thing.
And a normal sword could cut through a pigeon.
Yeah. He also has access to some other weapons, as I say, something like the Dragon's Claw and the Tiger's Fang, which are twin katana swords, or the Eclipse's Scythe, which is some other person's signature weapon that you can steal. They're really cool. But traditionally, he's just going to be using his old Dragon Sword and then the classic Shuriken throwing star, which are mostly used by him to just throw at people and stun his enemies, leaving them open to more lethal attacks. So, just like, my arm, a ninja star, and then, oh no, my arm has been sliced off by a dragon sword. Shall we find out where these two people are going to meet and greet and beat?
Meet, greet, and beat, yeah. Let's do it. It means it's time to roll the die of death. 15 is on a dam.
On a dam?
Or at a dam. Doesn't have to be on a dam, I suppose.
I mean, it absolutely should be on a dam.
Dam.
So when you think of a dam, what dam comes to mind?
I mean, not a specific dam, just like a big metal thing in the water.
A metal? You think dams are made of metal?
Are they not?
No, they're mostly made of concrete because metal will rust.
Only iron will rust. But yeah, right. Okay, a big concrete thing in the water. But don't they sometimes have like openings, like a little door that will open and close, so like if they need to change the water pressure?
They typically have ins and outs for letting water through to generate electricity.
That's only a hydroelectric dam.
Yeah, but I mean most dams nowadays.
All right, it's fine. You're the geology expert. You can.
I say most dams actually, probably not most dams. Most dams are either built to make a reservoir for fresh drinking water or to generate electricity, and possibly also make a reservoir. Well, I mean, they will make a reservoir, but the side effect may also be to then collect. To me, the main dam that comes to my mind is the Hoover Dam.
I mean, I've heard of the Hoover Dam. It's really clean.
I mean, it's really clean, yes. The Hoover Dam is an excellent structure. I love it. It was. What about the Hoover Dam?
Yeah,
it's quite long, it's quite wide.
Yeah.
It's 221 meters tall, which doesn't tell me how big it is. But it's probably about the same kind of thing in width.
That means that Ryu could jump off it and be all right.
Yes, he could. What a lad. I mean, I'll tell you how big the top is, but I can't find it. But it's a big, nice, curved arch dam. And it's really hot today, so it's probably quite warm out there.
Would be, yeah.
Lovely stuff. So what's Wreck-It Ralph doing at the Hoover Dam?
Sightseeing.
Sightseeing. It's like, oh man, this is the bonus level. I want to wreck it.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's irresponsible having him wreck a dam.
I mean, it's incredibly irresponsible. All you need to do is a little bit of damage to it. The whole thing would come crumbling down, and it would catastrophically destroy so much.
Yeah,
ruin.
I mean, that might possibly
so
happen in this fight. We'll see.
I mean, he would never be forgiven. Not to mention, he would, if he was still on top of the dam while destroying it, he would probably be swept away to debris and get crushed to death or drown in the torrent, the massive torrent of flooding water that cascaded down the Colorado River in the immediate aftermath. It's not a sensible idea.
So you've done now at the dam, having a damn good time, and then Ninja shows up.
Anyway, right. So Wreck-It Ralph, where's he in this dam? Is he in the middle, on the end, in the middle?
Probably be at the end. The end of the dam.
One of the ends of the dam.
Well, at the ends of the dam.
Oh. Well, there's a road that goes over it.
Oh, is there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he'll just be at one of the ends, chilling out. Maybe doing some fishing. You allowed to fish off the dam? Probably not.
There's two big, there's four actually, big towers that are in Hoover Dam, which are where all the water goes in and goes all hydroelectric-y. And these are fairly close to the edge as well. They're not in the middle of the dam, they're at either side. So I reckon old Ryu is going to appear, on top of one of them, all kind of stealthy ninja, like stealthy ninjas do. You know the thing where it's panned on a place and then they do there's a kind of phase and then they land on it, looking and then they go and they disappear off.
Yeah.
It's like that. But then he's going to move to the next one, to the next tower, because there's two towers in a row, and then onto the next one, because he's seen old person he must kill.
If he's super stealthy, then Ralph would be none the wiser. Just carrying on sitting on his dam.
Oh, is he sitting now? I thought he was sightseeing, or is he sight-sitting?
Yeah, he's sitting on the dam, enjoying the view.
Lovely.
Okay, so in case this transition is really shit, we had some mild technical issues and have had to, I don't know, it's almost a week later that we're now recording the end of this episode. So hopefully it will transition well and I can delete this bit. But in case it isn't, as far as we're concerned, Ryu has just sort of ninja walked himself stealthily without Ralph knowing up onto the tower on top of the dam.
Yes, in the, Nuggets? In the hydro bit where all the water goes down into the dam and makes electricity for all the people to enjoy.
Yes. Ralph is just sitting there watching the view, maybe doing some fishing.
Doing some fishing. What side of the dam is he on?
I don't know. The fishing side.
The fishing side. Oh dear. I mean, he ain't going to be on the other side. Let's put it that way. You'd have to have one hell of a fishing rod.
He might not be fishing. I don't know. I like the idea of sitting on a dam fishing, but I'm aware that's probably very frowned upon.
I think you're probably fine off one side, but you ain't going to be fishing off, the downside of a dam. Be like, oh, let me just get my fishing rod out, and then you go, and then you just be there for half an hour while it went to the bottom of the dam, and inevitably didn't hit the bottom of the dam. It'd be very sad.
Good. So what's Ryu, Peregrine Falcon going to be doing?
Right, yeah. So he knows where his prey is. He's repped himself, and he's just gonna, he's in no rush. He's a ninja. When has a ninja ever been in a rush?
When he's got time limit.
Yeah, fair.
When he's late for the bus. Oh.
When ninjas are in a rush when they're late for the bus.
So I've just finished editing episode 15 yesterday.
Yeah.
Because that'll go live today for the audience now. So it was interesting that you were saying when we recorded it last time that you think guns are a bad weapon to fight Wreck-It Ralph with, and you need some sort of bladed weapon. And now Ryu's about to start fighting him.
Yeah, he is.
So
He is indeed.
if your theory is correct, then it should pan out well.
I mean, yes.
But let's see. What's Ryu doing? Let's get this fight started.
Well, I mean, he's obviously going to start off by, he's landed on this closer tower, and he's just going to go with a shuriken. I can't remember whether he had kunai or not. I imagine kunai would be more sensible, but he definitely had shuriken, so he's going to use a shuriken because that's what I have. That's what I have him knowing as being have. That made no sense. That's what I know he has.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I mean, really, he's a trained ninja. He's a very deadly assassin. Ralph has no idea he's there. There's no reason these shuriken aren't just gonna hit him.
Blade.
Right in the arm, shoulder, back.
Right in my wrecking arm.
Yeah. I've dropped my fishing rod.
No, my fish. They're gone forever. You've ruined my fishing. You've wrecked it.
Yeah. You're thinking, you've wrecked my holiday. I'm the only one who can wreck things. So Ralph, being the angry Ralph that he is, who's just been shurikened, I think is going to run over to the tower that Ryu is standing on and just wreck it.
So you know this tower is in the middle of the water, right?
No. Oh, well, I don't know. So if you're off in the water and Ralph's presumably on the road going over,
I think there is a connection. Oh no, there is a connection. Yeah, there's a connection. It's just not.
So yeah, Ralph's going to run down there. I reckon he's going to try and knock down your tower because he's got no ranged weapons. What else is he going to do? And it'd be cool. You'll be like standing on the tower. I'm all superior. And Ralph's going to be like, brrr, smash it up.
Yeah, that seems fair. So he's just gonna. So yeah, he runs up to the tower, starts punching the. Obviously, he's not going to be punching the mega base of the tower because that's underwater, but the like above bit.
Yeah.
Just start wrecking around. That's quite thick. It's not going to be the kind of thing where you can just like punch the bomb and it will collapse. So is he gonna like run around and around, kind of like, you know, when like in the films and stuff you see termites like going round trees and like gnawing them in, and I say films, I mean like animated cartoons.
Yeah. No, I reckon he's going to go through the middle.
Okay, so he's just gonna,
because if he goes around the outside, you can still throw shit at him.
round the outside.
Yeah, but he's going to like smash through and then smash through the other side and then keep going. Like, have you seen that? Remember, I don't know if you remember from a few years ago, the Dreamies advert with the cat where he shook the bag and it shot through the wall.
Yes.
He's going to do that essentially over and over until it loses structural integrity.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I mean, Ryu's just gonna like obviously be noticing and go and smash through, not knowing where he is because he's inside, and then smashing out, and then coming around, and he can probably try throwing some shurikens again, but he's probably gonna miss because Wreck-It Ralph's just gonna pop out. Wreck-It Ralph is apparently quite fast because apparently he has super speed.
Yeah.
Hashtag Disney.
What?
We all agree he doesn't have super speed. He does. And go back in. So he's probably going to throw some shurikens and miss, and then go, well, this is fruitless.
Yeah.
And then like launch back to the second tower where he originally came from, and just start just like weigh it out, like, you know, ninja jump. And then he's just going to watch Wreck-It Ralph, who's going to be probably none the wiser that Ryu.
Oh yeah, absolutely not. He's really invested in smashing.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of people I knew at uni.
Hey.
Hashtag sex jokes. Hey.
Lots.
Such a dick. Anyway, so he's gonna smash through this tower a lot. And then
and then I get the idea, like, the tower crumbles down. Like, there's loads of like smoke and dust in the air, and as the dust clears, you see sort of like Ralph's hulking form panting a bit as he's exerted it, and then shuriken.
Yeah, and even better than that, he's like there, the dust like kind of clears. He's like, ha ha ha, and then he's like looking for the body. He's like, what? And then shuriken through the dust.
Yeah, and it even cuts through the dust. It's that beautiful.
I mean, literally and figuratively cuts through the dust.
Yeah, it'd be really cinematic. Like hits Ralph in the chest, and he's all like, "Rah!"
That is a bad place to be hit by a shuriken. I mean, there were worse places to be hit by a shuriken, but
I mean, I feel that's what would happen, wouldn't it?
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that Ryu has shurikens just means he just massively outranges Ralph. That it's weird considering the last two people Ralph fought have guns and the such, but he's always been able to get in close with them. Whereas here, his problem is he's just not being able to do that.
Right, you know what they say: don't bring a time gauntlet to a wild herd of Taurus fight.
Yeah,
and don't bring a laser pistol into a densely packed jungle.
well, exactly. But take shurikens to the Hoover Dam. Shurikens for the Hoover Dam.
Yes. Take shurikens to the Hoover Dam. That well-known catchphrase.
Yeah, if anyone listening is in America and or planning on going to America, please do not take shurikens to the Hoover Dam. Disclaimer, that is not a good idea.
No, it's not. You'll probably get stopped. You'll probably get
Hoovered.
Some kind of... You'll get hoovered. Probably some kind of penalty.
And then you go, damn!
We are definitely not... You go, damn. We are definitely not to blame for that.
Anyway, I think Ralph really got no choice but to go and smash down the next tower.
Love it.
I'm going to wreck it!
If at first it doesn't succeed, try again.
Wreck it some more.
So yeah, he's going to...
Wreck it.
Come in, do that stuff again. Again, Ryu is just going to be like... Bleh. He's smashing through. He's probably going to, this time... You know what? I think he's a clever boy, yeah? He's going to... when he jumps off, like Wreck-It Ralph is like tunneling through the tower, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to get out his old... what was it? The dragon sword?
Dragon sword!
Dragon sword! And he's going to get out the old dragon sword. And he's going to cut right through that bridge walkway. While he's jumping.
Can he do that
like
with the
back
sword?
to where the other old tower was. I mean, it was described as it could cut through anything.
Oh.
He's cut through tanks.
Yes,
and
yes, I remember you saying. Yeah, okay,
jet
sure, he
planes
can
with it.
cut for a walkway.
Yeah, and then jump down, cut and bounce, in a very ninja kind of style, onto the other tower base and just lie in wait for Wreck-It Ralph to notice that he's not there again and be like, and then lure him in with another shuriken throw. So he's just gonna wait again. He's got patience because he's got all the time in the world. He's a ninja. Because ninjas are never in a hurry unless they missed the bus. And he
Well, if you miss the bus, you're not in a hurry. It's if you're late for you're close.
Well, that's true. But I mean, you also be in a hurry if you had missed the bus and you're in a hurry
Well,
for the next destination.
I suppose so. Yeah.
Unless you just resign yourself to being late and you're just like, oh well. Sounds like me, to be honest.
Yeah. So there's another smash tower. Pretty much same thing again. It would be like Ralph's like, haha, where's the guy? And then shurikens.
The guy or the Gyu?
No.
He's called Ryu.
Yeah, no. I got it. I just wish I hadn't heard it.
I'm explaining it to the audience in case any of them didn't understand my terrible pun. I'm so sorry, everyone.
But yeah,
This is what it feels like to be my colleagues.
What, hit by shurikens?
Yes. I frequently throw shurikens at my colleagues when I want their attention and they won't listen. I mean, to be fair, I do throw stuff at my colleague when she's not paying attention because I know that me just saying her name again was not going to help, so I just like throw a rubber at her or something.
Ralph has been shuriken.
He has.
He's
probably displeased about it.
Where was Ryu standing now?
So by the rubble of the first tower.
Yeah, back by the rubble of and he cut the bridge, didn't he? Ah,
he did. He's crafty. That ninja Ryu.
So I guess Ralph's got to run back and jump over the bridge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot that he could jump. I forgot they're given. Well, it doesn't even matter if I forgot he can jump. What matters is that Ryu probably wouldn't have thought that he could jump so far.
I mean, he can certainly give it a go. I mean, he hasn't really got any other options.
No. He probably will be able to make that, to be honest. Like, he's got ludicrous game jumping powers, but Ryu would not have, being used to dealing with. Actually, fair, he's used to dealing with
demons,
ninjas who can jump very far. But you know, seeing him as a bulky man, and he's quite a bulky man, probably would have assumed that he's not as jumpy as he might be. I assume Wreck-It Ralph can jump quite far.
Yeah, I can't think of an example, but in my mind, I think it seems like he can.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same.
But he can certainly climb up basically vertical things. He has done. I mean, his main thing in Fix It Felix Jr. is to climb up the skyscraper. Or does he jump up the skyscraper, actually, thinking about it? My point is, if he doesn't make the jump and he grabs the base of the tower, I feel like he'd be able to scale it, even though it seems somewhat unscalable.
So what's probably going to happen is he's going to give a little bit of a run and a jump.
Yeah.
Not quite make it. Maybe land, you know, like third of the way from the top or something. But claw his hands in because he's got Wreck-It hands. And then he's just going to be able to like punch his hands in to make handholds and scramble up.
Yeah, he could do that.
Yeah, that's what I imagine would happen.
And you know what I think would happen in that instant? I believe
no.
Ryu would activate the Resident Evil 4 tactic, even though, you know, he's got nothing to do with Resident Evil. But he was just going to stand there, and as soon as Ralph gets to the point where he can climb up, he's just going to sword him.
Yeah, I mean, like, getting his sword ready does seem like a very reasonable idea, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely.
Just, like, you know, hand on it, ready to unsheath and just go as he needs to, but not actually holding his... You know, he's probably quite good at drawing his sword quite quickly. Maybe he will draw his sword. Yeah, he's probably going to draw his sword. But yeah, he's probably just going to be waiting there for old Ralph.
Yeah, and then as Ralph gets to the top, it would just be like, whooshing, and Ralph will get sworded in the arms, face, one of those.
Possibly both.
Yeah.
Both the arms and the face.
In a horrific
I mean, even if it's
motion.
just the arms, best case scenario, it just gets his arms.
Yeah.
Right? Which means he has no hands. And I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Have you got much climbing experience with no hands?
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Well,
no.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this is... Take a step back for a second. We've got to compare the Dragon Sword can cut through virtually anything with Ralph does have enhanced durability. I'm just saying, I think it will hurt a lot, and I think he will let go and of his climb. I don't know if it will necessarily sever his hands in one.
I mean, enhanced durability is not quite the same as, like, indestructible.
That's true, I suppose, and even with enhanced durability, I don't know. Yeah, okay, fine. So yeah, he's cut his hands off. So then I'm estimating that's a very big drop into the water from there.
Yeah, that looks quite deep, doesn't it? That's quite far.
Absolutely. I mean, he's on the shallower side, but even so, yeah. And then he'll fall into the water, like back first. So I'm imagining as he hits the water, because you know when you fall into water from a big height, it's hard, isn't it? It's probably going to do some damage to his back, which already has shuriken wounds in it.
Yes.
I feel like at this point Ralph might just drown. I don't know if computer characters can drown. He's certainly not going to be able to continue this fight.
You've played Earthworm Jim, right?
Earthworm Jim? Yeah, that was an excellent game. Earthworm Jim can drown. My point is, I don't know if Wreck-It Ralph can drown.
I don't see why he wouldn't be able to drown. Like, for all intents and purposes, he is a...
human.
You know, he is a human. Don't get me wrong, he has associated, like, character powers. But at the end of the day, he is a human. He has lungs, he breathes, he gets out of breath and all that jazz. I don't see why there's no reason that water shouldn't be able to drown him.
And even if it can't, I'm sure Ryu can throw a few more shurikens down for good measure.
Yes. Yes, he probably could. Just to stand there observing.
Yeah, my point is, I think Ralph's lost this one.
Yeah. You know, like, it's very dramatic and very reminiscent of Die Hard, but a much more violent version of Die Hard.
Yeah.
Instead of just taking a watch off, it's taking the hands off. You know, same idea. And then they fall backwards, like, no, but with like blood pouring out these
stumps. Yeah.
Yeah. If Wreck-It Ralph has blood, I mean, we're assuming he probably has blood.
Red pixels like, whizzing out of his stumps.
Yeah, red pixels. Back slaps into the water, which is like probably just enough to wind him. But
if he was winded, that forces all the air off his lungs, which means he'd drown quicker.
Yeah. So winds him, and then he's like falling in with no hands for kind of really help. And he's a big man. I don't see him as being a floaty boy. Possibly gets a couple of shurikens in like some the limbs or something while
just for good measure.
Just for good measure while he's on the surface, and then slowly sinks beneath. And he's like,
I think it's quite interesting that the one person that Ralph had a good, like, because like I say, he didn't necessarily have a good chance against like ranged weapon users, and somehow won both of those. And then the one person he could fight in close for definite, which was like it would be like a swordsman. Although I suppose he used a lot of shurikens, so maybe not so much. I don't know. My point is rendered useless by myself.
You know, it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But you know, he did good. He preserved your bullying honor.
Yeah.
For a short while.
That's it. And he got to smash up a bit of a famous landmark, and that's always fun.
It is. What's more fun than having your arms chopped off and then drowning? Having your arms chopped off and then drowning at a famous landmark after destroying part of it.
Yay.
Hashtag true facts.
Yeah.
But probably don't don't plan your weekends around that kind of fun.
No.
If you're going to be like, oh, I really fancy some fun this weekend. What's fun? And then your kids are like, oh, we could go to this landmark, blow up half of it, and then get killed by the police. That's probably a bad idea, unless they're obviously on about GTA or Just Cause or one of those kind of games. Then absolutely feel free.
The kids only play Fortnite.
Kids only play Fortnite.
That's what the media will tell you.
Yes, it will. It will also tell you that because they only play Fortnite, they're really violent, which is why in places such as Japan, where there were loads of video games, including lots of violent video games, gun crime is unheard of.
Right. Oh man, like that's it. Is you can sit there and you can blame video game violence all you want, but when you're grown up and you're ready to talk about gun control, we'll be here.
We'll be here on our stupid little island, moaning that our prime ministers are dumb idiots.
I still think the best reason I have seen for why video game violence doesn't encourage actual violence was a guy called Rich Hudson, who is a massive roller coaster tycoon fan, and he was like, well, you don't see me building roller coasters everywhere.
You don't see me. Yes.
That was good.
Yeah, I mean,
also, interestingly, do you know what the original ending for completing Tetris was? This is the thing I found out the other day.
No.
No? On the original version of Tetris, when you completed it, you got a short animation of the Russians launching a nuke at the rest of the world.
You know what? I'm not going to say that makes sense, but I was watching a video, what was it, the other day? Oh, it was Tim Rogers from Kotaku.com.
Yeah.
And he was doing a video called the Timprovisation, because it's called Tim. And someone just gave him a list of 47 video games. And he was trying to remember their video game covers from memory. And he was incredibly good at it. And these weren't necessarily like recent and super popular games. Like some of them were getting into like obscure games. And he got like over 90% of them correct. It was incredible. And one of them was one of the Tetris variants. And he was like, I swear that one of them had a Russian building on. And he lists off about 3 different Tetris game front covers before then getting the correct one. And it's just mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently it used to have some Russian buildings on the front. So maybe that's why.
I mean, it is a Russian game.
Yeah. Those crazy Russians.
Anyway, so tangent into current media news there.
And Tetris.
Yes, that was related. Let's get things wrapped up. Okay, so I need to give you a clue for my next character. This character is, interestingly, also kind of a good bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's somebody who, starts off on the bad guy team in the franchise of games he is from, but then sort of turns to the good guy team because of the fact he's been good all along, and he just wants to save his friends.
Okay.
He is a moderately powerful fire mage.
So it's not...
Pyromancer, that's the word.
It's not Ken from Digimon Series 2.
No, it isn't. It isn't Ken, the Digimon Master.
Was his name Ken?
Yeah.
It was. Yes.
It's Ken, the Digimon Master, and he looks exactly
with
identical
Wormmon.
to Oryu from Bleach. To the point I actually believe they're the same character.
And he had Wormmon.
He did have Wormmon.
I'm Wormmon.
He used to beat it and he went, oh, Ken.
Oh, Ken.
So it's not him. But there you go. That's one character you can scratch off the list. But also he has a really cool cloak that I'd like to get at some point for a cosplay. He also has really cool hair because JRPGs.
So now I was thinking of someone.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they're a fire mage.
Okay, who are you thinking of?
I was thinking of Vince from FF7.
Vincent.
They might be.
Is the vampire. Yeah. I mean, it's Final Fantasy. You could give him fire, I assume. I don't know. I haven't played 7 a lot.
No, neither. I've never played at all. I also didn't know if he was a bad guy to start with. Or looks like a bad guy.
I don't know. I started Final Fantasy at 8. That was the first one I played. So that's that. We have been part of the Tinker Tailor Soldier Sponge Productions, TTSS, which you can find on tinkertailorsoldiersponge.com. There are some blogs you can read, some podcasts you can listen to, including this one, if you just want to listen again. We have an email address. It's podcastmmm@gmail.com. Feel free to send us an email to say like, hey guys, how you doing? And we'll be like, all right, thanks. Also, if you want to talk to us, feel free to do it on the Twitter @podcastmmm. Both on our Twitter or our email, you can suggest characters you want to be in the fighting, to do the fighting, or places that you want the fight to take place. If you don't think On a Dam was a good place, tell us a better place.
I mean, you're wrong. A dam is a great place.
Yeah, it resulted in a really cinematic drowning. I haven't seen a good cinematic drowning since Jiraiya from Naruto.
Man, that's a damn good fight.
It was a damn good drowning.
It was.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for the episode?
No.
No. Okay, cool. All right. Bye, everyone.
It's your late.